Welcome back to KingWoes Court episode. Or I don't remember what it is, but here we go. It's good to be back. I took a little bit of a break, and I'm back with some very, very talented gentlemen this evening, I must say. As you are all aware, we are currently getting together the Aiseiri All Ireland Metal Project, and it's my great pleasure tonight to have a few of the artists with me from that. I'd like to introduce Sean Doyle. Also Cormac Tunstead.
Yo.
Darren Carney.
Yeah, that's right.
And
hello, folks.
Yes, and Anthony Smith. Okay. Hey, Anto.
Story.
So basically what I'm saying is, everyone might know me, or they might know Dara, or they might know whoever else. But there's equally just as good musicians and songwriters on this project. And I just wanted to highlight a few of them this evening, and so that's what we're going to do. So, gentlemen, how are you all keeping?
Brilliant. Keeping fresh.
Yeah.
I'm a bit under the weather, but sure, look it.
It's okay, you're gorgeous, don't worry.
Darren, who hurt you? Darren, who hurt you?
It wasn't the Russian king anyway.
No, nor the Bolshevik uprising, but sure, look.
That's the one. Gentlemen, where are y'all coming from, first of all? Sean, where are you from?
Currently outside Navan by way of Westmeath.
Okay.
Westmeath being the best meat.
Cormac.
I do not agree.
Oh, fight.
Because I'm a Navan man.
Look, he's all pale in comparison to Dublin, so don't be worried about it.
Yeah, I'm from Glasnevin in Dublin, so
yay.
Not too exciting.
Darren?
And, I'm from Dublin myself. I'm actually from Donaghbate, but I've been living in Galway now for about 17 years.
All right, so you're not from Dublin.
I'm from Galway now. And in fact, the track that we would have made in a way kind of is a bit representation for the West.
Right.
Nice.
We got a lot of
I know that one.
That.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Interesting. And you're from Navan, Anto, yeah?
Yeah, Navan.
Cool. So we have a nice little mix here, you know what I mean? So yeah, we started, as you know, as everyone knows by now, we got together the Aiseiri Irish Metal Project, and we asked for people who might be interested in collaborating, because that's what the whole idea of it is to collaborate with people you may or may not have worked with before. And as we were saying off here, we've gotten 34 tracks, which is a fucking testament to everybody on the project, you know. But what I want to do is, like I was saying, I want to talk to you all about what songs you're on, who you worked with, how you found the whole experience. Was it weird kind of recording remotely from people, or did you get to jam in a room with people, or, you know, let's have a chat about that, and let's tell people how you got to this stage now, you know. Sean, start me off. I'm going to do like this so we're not talking over each other, you know what I mean? Sean,
kicking it off. Okay. Well, how I got involved was I was on the member of the Facebook group, and I saw Dara's post. Dara put up a post going, I'm thinking of doing this kind of Roadrunner United thing, and does anyone want to hop in on that? And I had been, you know, like everyone else, you know, sitting on my arse in lockdown looking for something to do, and I kind of thought about maybe writing and producing my own EP. So I had a track demoed, an instrumental track demoed, and I said, I threw it up and I said, look, this is my skill set. If anyone wants to join me in maybe fleshing this out, or if you like what you hear, doing something different or whatever. And a couple of lads replied immediately going, yeah, that sounds great. I'd be up for that. And then it turns out I find out they're, you know, in Cruachan and Zora, and I'm like, holy shit, these guys want to play on a tune I've written. It's like, you know, kind of blew my mind that guys of that stature would be interested in something like little old me was doing.
If music is good, it's good, Sean. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like it's. I've been in bands back in the day, like back in the early 2000s, because I'm an old man. And I was always like co-writing on that, but this was the first kind of tune I'd written from start to finish, like music wise on my own, without any input from anyone else. And the first piece of music I think I've worked on in maybe at least a decade or more.
Wow.
Yeah. I kind of semi-retired for the better part of a decade and went off and did other things and didn't even pick up an instrument for a long time, but got back into it in recent years and started to mess around. And this tune kind of like fell out of me. I'm sure we've all been afflicted with the thing of like, you write something and you listen back to a minute of it and go, that's shite, and you dump it immediately, and you never come back to it. And this thing just, I couldn't leave it alone. And pretty soon I had a 6 or 7 minute track in a demo form and put it up, and the rest of the lads worked on it, and it came out much, much better than I could ever have expected. The lads just knocked it out of the park. I kept saying to them throughout the project, because Jack Penders and Tom Woodlock were going, we put vocals on that. I have ideas for lyrics. And I said, lads, to be honest, I never imagined this with vocals on it. I can't even imagine what you're going to do with it because I can't hear vocals on it. And then they came back.
Are hella talented they are.
Oh yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was blown away when they came back. I was like, oh right, so this is the type of song it was, because I couldn't even describe it. You couldn't ask me the genre of it. When I wrote it. It was like it is what it is. It's heavy, and it's decent. So
sometimes that's the best tunes. Just don't know how to categorize them.
Yeah. And then I believe if Carol will correct me, it's one of the lead singles for album 1, I think, is it? Or is
your one is Alaphasia, is it?
Aphasia. Yeah.
That's one of the lead.
Yeah.
Great track.
Thanks a million.
So you had Dave Quinn on that as well, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Dave and it was
and Tom.
And Tom. It was funny because the demo form, if you go back through the Facebook post when I originally put it up, and I supplied it to the lads and I played it to them. I said, bear in mind, anyone where all the guitar sounds you hear are done on bass.
Wow.
So Dave had to redo it on guitar, because I've no guitar here. I just had to like play the rhythm parts up high, and it sounded decent.
No way.
Yeah.
Deadly. Should have recorded it like that, actually. Just fuck it, why not?
I think I'm not sure if some of it's was from the demo was kept. I can't honestly tell you. Maybe. I can't honestly tell you.
And did you all record remotely, or did any of us get to work together?
No, none of us worked together on that one. I did the bass here. Dave did the guitars at his place. Tom has his own studio, so he did the drums. And Jack took what very limited string writing and arrangement ability I had and fleshed it out and made it sound twice as awesome. And now it sounds like it's Game of Thrones or something.
It's a fucking killer track. It really is.
Cheers.
And,
I can't wait to hear this one.
Oh, it's awesome, man. Yeah. So, as I said, I'll go around everyone like if we were around the table eventually, like, you know what I mean. But Sean, I mean, did you enjoy the experience?
Oh, completely. Like, if you'd have told me a year ago that the guys from, Cruachan and Zora would be playing on a track that I wrote, I would have said, can I have some of your drugs? So yeah, I can't speak highly of the lads. It was an amazing experience, and like I mentioned earlier that I had the idea of doing an EP, and that tune was demoed about a year ago, and then nothing happened. I just sat on it, and this whole experience is now right. I've started work on the EP as we're speaking. So yeah. So this one is I think it's going to be kind of a heavy post rock instrumental vibe. Was what I was going for. So I might be on the lookout for some people to play on it.
Cool.
Well, this is the project for it.
Yeah. Throw it up there, man. And because for me personally, I always wanted to do collaborations. I always loved what Mike Patton used to do. He did so many different projects. And I was always, not that I was pigeonholed into just 2000 or whatever, but I always wanted to go outside my wheelhouse and try different things with different people. And I never had the opportunity until this. So I'm on 4 tracks. And I've been working with so many different people, and it's the fucking dream. It really is, like, you know. So I can understand. Yeah, I can understand.
Concur completely. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're happy with how your track turned out, I presume.
Yeah, totally. Like they just took everything that was on it and just brought it up, raised the level of it. Yeah. Like, because you know, when you do something and you write it yourself, and you can kind of get it into a state of like demoitis, and you're just like, you fall in love with the demo, and you go, there's no improving on this. This is grand. And then you know, Tom comes back with a drum part that just fucking blew me away. You know, even though the drums were kind of mostly programmed, I just kind of wasn't happy with the flow of them. And Tom just went, the vibe of those drums are grand. I'll just let me do my thing on them. And I says, yeah, you do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
And he just, made it better.
He's awesome. He's absolutely, I mean, his DNA is all over this project. And it's the same with Damien on the other, one of the other kind of MVPs of this thing, Damien Yannick. The two lads have done so many tracks on this thing. It's brilliant.
I only met Damien recently for the first time, just out when the pubs opened. We were in the same pub, and I was like, "You doing that project? I never recognize you. Are you doing that project?" Yeah.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy, and he's a really, really good drummer, you know. But that's awesome, man. And I mean, if anyone hasn't heard the song yet, it's up on Spotify, you know, at the moment. And it's
is it on? I know it was on YouTube. I didn't know it was on Spotify.
I think it's on our Spotify, as far as I know, but it's definitely on YouTube anyway. If it's not on Spotify, that's not a bad thing, you know. I don't think. I think it's definitely on YouTube anyway. So, but let's go with the YouTube link for now. We'll put the links up later on when we finish recording. Anyway, it'll be up, you know, for people listen to it. It's awesome, you know. Anyway, that sounded like a real mouthful coming out of my mouth there, didn't it?
I want to say as well that the name we kind of christened the group project for the song Oleka or Oleka. I can't know what the pronunciation, but Jack came up with it, and I think it completely encapsulates what we've gone through over the last year. The feeling of Oleka is that, you know, there are no memorable days. Every day is the same.
Wow.
Which
I
thought was great, because we were struggling to put a name on it, and Jack had a list, and I was like, Oleka looks good. What does that mean? He goes, yeah, it's like you get up, you do the same thing every day, and you don't feel like there's anything different. And I was like, yeah, that's it.
I like that.
Japers.
That's cool. And it's cool. See, I think it's great putting a name to the project. You know? Like one of mine is called Vermicious. You know, and that's from Vermicious Knids, from it's a Roald Dahl thing.
Yeah.
Now I didn't come up with it, but I liked it, so I was like, yeah, okay, we'll roll with that. You know, but that's not the name of the track. You know, like that's just the name of the project.
Like ourselves, yeah.
Yeah, but Cormac, talk to me about your involvement.
Right. Well, as we were talking about the wonderful Damien there, me and him are good mates, so sometimes we'll just catch up and hang out and just jam over stuff like Fear Factory or whatever we're vibing with. And so he told me about the project, and he wanted me to get on board with the track he was doing with Zoe. And it was like this industrial synthy, I don't know how to describe it or make it what it sounds like. There's one band in particular, but I can't remember the name of it. But Zoe just came up with this synth piece, and Damien just threw on his drums over it. So at the time, I took a real kind of back seat from music for a while. Even guitars, my guitars were just gathering dust, to be honest. I didn't have to drive over the quarantine. And just because my setup on my computer like went into the bin, I was actually trying to rebuild my whole new computer and setup because I was starting to get that itch again. So this project came at the perfect time coming into that. So it was kind of like almost meant to be. And but at the time I didn't have my setup yet. And so Damien just invited me over to his house, and we just track drums and guitars together. So when Zoe threw us over to synth, she just kind of like let go of the wheel. She's like, you know, do whatever you want with it. So me and Damien, just like as this team, we just came together, you know, bumping heads, and it just came together so quickly like that. And I'm pretty proud of it because it was it's quite exciting to do that again. Just kind of have fun with something. Yeah. Just not let it be too serious. Just whatever comes out, just go with it.
Yeah.
So no, I'm over the moon with it. That was with Keith, Anthony's brother there, I believe. And he's a good lad.
He's a good
kid, Never say all the right words.
Look at that forced laugh. Look at that forced laugh.
Like I'm just wearing his band's t-shirt, like so.
And I bet you made you pay for it as well, didn't you?
No.
You should have said yeah.
I should have said yeah. I couldn't do that to him.
Shout out to Horrenda. But what's it? Yeah, so after we got the whole track done, we were just listening back, whoa, you know, that was really hella cool. Like that was just the fun and excitement of music kind of came back again. Yeah. And it just got me really driven to get recording again on my own material. And so yeah, we're over the moon with it. We have Tommy Duffy on vocals. So
who's Tommy?
Tommy's a legend. I know Tommy well. Tommy is the lead singer of the Grudge, the Tool tribute band.
That's him.
That's him. That's Tommy boy. Know him a long time.
Great.
Yeah, see, like we're all just doing this online, so we didn't get to meet up with each other, but just me and Damien were the only two because we've already been mates beforehand.
Yeah.
Tommy, he was also in a band years ago called I'd Fight Gandhi.
Oh, you remember them? Yeah.
I love it. That is so great.
Yeah, we might have actually played with them once. I'd say years ago. Sorry, go on.
Hi, you're grand. I Fight Gandhi. That's so good. Oh my god. But yeah, so me and Damien were just like listening back and kind of imagine what the vocals would be like. But Tommy came back with something just totally different, and it elevated the song to something else. And it was really good. So the other project I was part of was Frail Ties. That's with your man Anthony there. I'll give you more of the spotlight on that one.
Yeah, that's fine.
But that was a last second bit of recording for me because I I didn't have any computer at the time. So here I was like rebuilding a whole new computer and learning off YouTube how to put this all together. I'm like panicking. Here's the deadline. Like, oh no. So I'm wondering now, getting the odd screen, like, oh, why the fuck isn't this working? And so there was a bit, a lot of panicking at that moment, but got the computer together, and just for the last few seconds of the song, got a solo in, which was, again, that was a fun process itself because it felt like I was just kind of scraping away the cobwebs of the guitarist. And it's fun to do that again, but challenging because it was a really fast song. And they gave me, oh my god, they gave me such a long bit. It's like, it's only 8 bars.
8 long bars.
That was the biggest
after the breakdown.
It was a minute, something like a minute long. It's like, oh yeah, you have a solo on this. Like, all right, cool. So it's like, yeah, grant 8 bars. I'm like, lads, this is like 6 bars. This is ridiculous. I'm like, how am I going to make this interesting?
It's killer.
How much can I play the pentatonic blues?
No. You take one note and bend it for 4 bars.
Yeah.
Oh yes, exactly.
Okay, gentle up, boy now.
Oh god, but yeah. So they made me go to work on that one, but it was
sorry
fun.
about that.
But that was fun. It was cool to hear. You could really hear Dara's influence on that, and I know him, Aaron, his vocals as well. So it was like it had their touch, even though it wasn't a black metal tune, but it definitely had their, the horrendous touch to it, which was, but it wasn't horrendous. So it was cool.
Good.
Yeah.
So you're happy with how everything's turned out for you, yeah?
Yeah. Well, here, listen, the nature of the beast of being the perfectionist in me, just like, like could have done that better. Like what?
We're all
how
like
was
that,
I
man.
doing that?
We're all like that.
Yeah, I was actually surprised at how hands off I became on a tune that I'd written, because I'd be the one, really, pushing to get things just so and just right. And it was just so funny that because I'd written the tune and sat on it for a while, and then I gave it to the lads. I decided, right. I didn't decide. It just kind of happened organically. I'm just being hands off here, lads. It's yours now, and now the thing is out in the world. Whatever the way it goes now is the way it goes.
Yeah, I do struggle with that as well. Yeah,
as a team, Sean, you were the team lead, weren't you?
No, I wasn't. Dara started off on our group, but then when he heard the song and heard how everyone had put on to it, he says, "You don't need me on it. I'm buying out the team. You don't need me. Tom, you're team leader now. See ya."
So yeah, well, so it's great that you were able to. The song ended up probably exceeding your expectations.
Completely. Like,
it's a great feeling.
It is a great feeling.
Darren, how are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. I don't know how my voice is going to sound on this though.
You sound lovely.
Sound lovely and smooth.
Listen to this at nighttime. This is
the
best time to listen to it.
ASMR.
After dark.
Yeah, you gotta get that proximity effect. My experience on it was incredibly positive. So from the start, when I heard about the project, I was very interested in it. And my housemate, Kieran, was in bands like Necrunia, and he's kind of working on another thing at the moment as well. And I was having a chat with him in the house, and we're like, how about we do something for this? And excuse me, we decided to just maybe jam something together. I picked up a bass guitar and messed around with some riffs and stuff. I actually rent a rehearsal room for drums, and kind of around that time, like people have mentioned here on the podcast, that it was like a good time for them to kind of get involved.
Yeah,
it was a perfect time for me as well, because previously, in the previous couple of months, I started kind of investing again in my drum kit, and like finding that place to practice was really essential. And it's kind of difficult to find in Galway at the moment, because there's just very few places that you can find like to even have that kind of service. So had the room ready to go, had the drum kit set up, and then I went in with Kieran, like, because we're housemates, we didn't really have to worry about wearing like being super careful with COVID. We had the place booked for ourselves. We could just go in. So he came in with his bouzouki, so he plays Irish bouzouki.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this bass guitar. We just had this bit of a jam. I had this kind of a riff thing that was really sort of doom metal, because that's kind of the stuff I'm really into. I used to be in a doom band years ago, but at the time I was kind of thinking about getting back into it and trying to kind of get better at those things. So for me, so we came up with this riff anyway. He was jamming away to it, lovely stuff. So I was like, okay, you stay playing that. Now I'll just play the drums for the crack. And we felt like, okay, we have something maybe, and went back to the house, kind of tracked it down with a metronome, so that we'd have a bit of a click on it, and he put it together. And because Kieran's got he has so much more experience than I do or whatever, he kind of figured out being the band leader and got that stuff sorted out with Dara and with folks involved in the project. And I guess as well, it might help attract people to the project if they kind of recognize who's the band leader. Because for me, definitely, like I played in a small doom metal band that we played at a couple of gigs like years ago. Like, people probably wouldn't have heard of Stonecarver. I don't know if
Stonecarver, yeah. The name, yeah.
It was a lot of fun. But I was only playing with them for maybe 2 or 3 years. We were only gigging with them for like a year. And after that, like, I kind of just dropped the drums for a long time. and only recently picking them back up. So when other people started showing interest, we're like, okay, there's a lot of people here we can see in the spreadsheet, right? So I don't know if you've been talking about it before on the podcast, that like the spreadsheet, people's names and stuff on it also has the location, so like what county they're in. And we were like, there's a lot of people from different parts of Ireland, like Dublin and Cork or whatever. And just not that much representation from the West. So we have to make this band like represent the West. And we looked around to see if we could get anyone else involved here. And we got Ronan from Tent on Slug. And I think we reached out to a few different people as well. And some people didn't really have time for it, but who we got Colin Quinn as well, then who sang some vocals on the track as well. And I think somebody mentioned as well, was it David Quinn?
David Quinn.
Yeah, he's plays guitar in it now. He became an honorary Galwegian for the time. So and Shannon as well. Shannon did the mixing for the track, and that was great. Like, so for me, like the whole experience, like as somebody who, like you mentioned at the beginning, I wasn't really that involved with music for a while. At the time, I wasn't in a band. I was maybe thinking about it again, and it was just the perfect time for me to kind of get out there a bit. You know, I'm still in my house, like I'm just recording this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But it was just a fantastic experience to be like involved in something like this, to have other people around me that have a lot of experience. Kind of, I'm able to like ask some questions, talk to them about it. I was chatting with Shannon a lot about like how do you want me to send you these drum tracks?
Yeah.
This is also the first track I've ever recorded drums for, so that was huge. And like for me personally, like that was like a big. It's like if I was a Pokemon, I just evolved, you know. And it was tough as well for me to record drums. Like I really wanted to do the track justice, because I knew other people have been, you know, touring around the world and playing in front of big crowds and stuff. I'm like, well, I better not fuck it up, you know. So I had a great time, and everybody was just absolutely professional. It's just such a fantastic group of people as well. I'd love to work with them again.
Awesome.
And just so positive. So like the track, when like once we kind of handed off our recordings or whatever to Shannon to kind of put them together and mix, he kind of, whenever he had time, like fair play to him. Like he's just flat out working and also doing all of this stuff on a bunch of tracks. Don't know. It seems like instead of sleeping, he just did this. I don't know.
He doesn't sleep.
Yeah. So fair play to you, Shannon. Came back with a great mix, and was kind of sure, you know, there were some things that I needed to fix with the drums because of whatever. But I ended up recording whatever the take it was. It was like 2 a.m. or something, so it wasn't like the best take. And but that was really fun. Like at the end of that, I had a little jam with the people that were there as well, and that was really nice. But like the track had me do some research. Because of the bouzouki on it. So David re-recorded the bass line I had because I was just like really rough on it. But he kept the same thing, I think, which is really nice. But everything just came out better than I expected, and as well as that, it was also initially we had this kind of vague idea of doom folk, you know, slow doom metal, like heavy as fuck, and then with this kind of trad instrumentation going through it as well. So Kieran played the Irish bouzouki and the low whistle on the track, so you wouldn't really hear this anywhere else. So we had that kind of experience as well, where it's like we're having a lot of fun with it. We weren't being too serious, and it's all for good cause. So we were just like, just throw stuff at it and see what happens. I ended up listening to like traditional Bulgarian folk music, which is class.
Deadly.
Yeah. Just because that instrument, the Irish bouzouki, would have been taken from Greek traditional music, and then back in the day, was it the Bothy band and Planksty and stuff?
Yeah.
You would have had your man playing the Irish bouzouki there. He would have been inspired, and those folks would have been inspired a bit by the Bulgarian music as well. So I was kind of going down all this rabbit hole, trying to figure out how do I drum to this, and I just came across some incredible musicians. So it's like, well, there's no way I can do that, and I just tried to get something. So I bought some more gear for my. I got like a tambourine just to have that kind of a more acoustic sound. I don't know how to describe it.
Did you buy a cowbell? Did you?
I didn't buy cowbell.
Why don't we have more cowbell? We need more cowbell.
Well, that's gonna have to be next year, you know.
Yes. That's gonna be a rule next year. The only one rule: more cowbell.
More cowbell, exactly.
Yeah. So that's awesome, man. I'm loving hearing all these stories of how everyone's, got their stuff together and how it is just a positive thing. That's what I wanted to just show, that not only are the people who are in bands so happy with it, the people who aren't in bands are so happy with it, So
Absolutely.
It's awesome to hear the stories. Anthony, tell me about your project or projects.
So back in this all started, the page is actually public on Facebook. I seen Dara posting something about doing a Rotary United project, and he had put up one demo, and I listened to the demo and I thought I just put up a comment saying, "Oh, this is great! Like, this is a great idea. Like, I hope more people get involved in it." And then Dara just shot a comment under it saying, "It's like, do you want to give it a bash?" And then I was just like private messaging Dara saying, "It's like, well, I haven't played guitar in like 10 years, like, but I've always loved it." And then Dara was like, "No, just give it a go. Like, throw your ideas out there." But like, I hadn't a clue where to start. And then eventually that track just led me to become the team leader of that song. Like, Dara had already the bass written of it, like the bass guitar track done, and I just completely started listening to it over and over, but I couldn't get his style of guitar down, so I just rewrote that full track. It's just like, to hear what I wanted to play over like the drum and bass track he had done, like the MIDI drums, and I was like, okay, this is what I want to play. And I just sent him a message: "Is this okay if I completely rewrite this?" And he's like, "Yeah, go for it." And then he was like, no, he was completely up for it. And then he just let me take full control of it. And then he just goes, "Right, here, you're team leader." And like, okay.
Potato,
here you go. See this, you're going to do this. And I just started jamming it. No. I was just here trying to play it, like trying to get something to go with it. And then, but like, I had no gear around it. So I had to try and find like an audio box, DI cables, everything. Like, I had to get everything, like DI box, guitar, I had to set up everything. But got it all sorted, put down the track, found Damien Jenick was actually meant to do the drums on the track, but then there was some issue with him having to move his house.
Oh yeah.
And then we got Cotton Murphy to come on the track. And then later on I found he played briefly in Primordial.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, and from that moment on, it was just like, we started just trying to get this, like, this track was like really early Machine Head vibes. So I was like trying to just get this like Burn My Eyes style guitar down. Dara loved it. And then we just thought, this is great. And then having Cottle come into it, he just gave us a whole like different way of actually writing the track. Just like, and it all made sense. Everything just started to come like from point A to point B. And it was just like, it all fell into place. We had Tom Ambrose doing drums on it, or bass on it from Neon Empire, I think. Cool. And
cool
then later on, Dara put up another track, another Machine Head style track, which was Frail Ties that Cormac mentioned. Well, I was meant to play bass on that. And I just, like, it was another one because I hadn't been practicing or playing guitar properly for a long time. I couldn't figure out how to write it. And I took a bit of a breather and I walked away from the track for a bit. And then Dara messaged me, asking me to go to the Horrenda rehearsal spot with him and Mark from Horrenda. And we just spent, I think, 4 hours and we just pulled that entire song together in 4 hours.
Deadly.
So like we were just there playing around, and we just got down. Because my plan was to go in and just try and get the guitar track down, so I could try to play bass over that. Then Dara liked the guitar so much, and he told me to stick with that. And then Mark ended up doing the bass on it. So it was just a bit of fun. There was one point where we just took a break because we just needed a breather, and Mark got his hands on Dara's 6-string bass. And Mark was just there playing away with it, like having the most fun I've ever seen. It's like handing a kid like the noisiest weapon you could ever find. And Mark just
do the guitar parts on the bass, man. Just take the power back. Take the power back.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It was unreal. And then like over the course of doing the song as well, Cottle was also on this track with us, and we just kept getting more and more feedback through the group. But since I've not done any of this, just like seeing how everyone actually works well together is like, because everything was so positive. Like, yeah, there'd be like, we'd all be discussing like what we liked or didn't like, but trying to actually just get the drive to make it better. And everyone was just so positive, like, you can do this. Like, it's not like you can't do this. Why are you doing it like this? And it just made me want to keep playing more and more and more.
Good.
But like as we said, we got Cormac to do the solo on Frail Ties, and we kind of threw him in the deep end with an 8-bar solo. It's actually probably one of the shortest tracks, though. I think it's only like 3 minutes long. It's like 3 minutes 20 seconds or something like that. But like the last minute and a half is a solo.
But Cormac, you fucking killed it, because I've heard it. So
it's insane.
Awesome.
It's actually ridiculous. We were actually looking for the first track, which is called Lies Damn Lies. And we wanted to, there's a certain spot in that because we put a load of like political Irish samples into it, like all the politicians, like we got random samples of like all the lies and stuff they were spreading through the years. But there was just this one brief like 20-second interval in the song where we thought we'd get a solo, and we got Dave Matthews. I don't know if he's in a band, but
he's in a band called Dave Matthews Band.
I wish it was that Dave Matthews, but this Dave Matthews absolutely nailed it. Like
I think he might have been in was he in Mel Martin maybe or something?
Maybe I genuinely don't know. But we just put the call out on the group chat, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll throw something together." And he apparently wrote it in a couple of hours. And myself and Dara like, "What the hell? Like, this is insane." Like, it just goes to show like the amount of talent this country has. Like,
I mean, like for such a small country, we're absolutely bursting at the seams with fantastic
absolutely
musicians.
Like, I can't believe it. I genuinely couldn't believe it. Like, this is incredible. Like, seeing the caliber of musicians in it. Like, I've seen like over the years going to Fibbers, like some of the bands like that have been playing there. You just be thinking like, man, this would be fun to do. But like, I just never have the balls to go up and do it, or even try and get into it. But now this is kind of just like put it into me. It's like, why not? Apart from my job and time, like as Cormac saying about financials and things like that.
Put the cookie down and just do it.
Well, you now have a forum or a platform to exactly. If you can't gig, you can at least record now, and
and you have a new neighbor. You have a new neighbor.
Absolutely.
Yay!
But as I think it was during the interviews when we were in the Grand Social doing the interviews, I was telling you that because you had done the interview with me.
I did.
At the end of the day, and I was like, I hadn't played guitar in 10 years. Like, I started my career, and then that kind of just pushed everything away. And then at Christmas, my fiance bought me a new guitar. I just started jamming away with that and trying to get back into it. And as soon as that happened, this started to happen during the end of that part of lockdown. And then just the drive started kicking in more and more. And then seeing what everyone was posting on socials, and it just kind of just gave you the drive to actually go and want to play.
Brilliant. Yeah.
But like the Roadrunner album was probably one of the main influences I had, because that came out back when I was in secondary school. And I was like, I just picked up guitar when I was in second year originally, and this had come out, and I listened. It was one of the first albums I actually worked to buy for. Bought the album, and I think I played the album maybe 3 times a day for 3 or 4 years. I listened to the album over and over. Like, it's my favorite album of all time.
Yeah.
And to be able to do something on the lines of that project is just unbelievable.
It is. It's
It's awesome.
It's awesome. I mean, you're getting combinations of people, like we said, generally who haven't worked together.
Yeah.
Or may have known about each other but never got the chance. For example, I'm working on a couple of tracks with a good friend of mine, Hoytham Martin from the Dystopia Project. Yeah,
he's a hero.
Absolute legend.
Yeah, he was in Eyes Closed, and in my opinion, he is the best fucking metal frontman in this country. That's just my opinion now. And
he's
so I know the guy over 20 years, and we used to gig together with our own bands.
Yeah.
Never got to work together. Right?
Yeah, same as that.
And now I've gotten to do, I think it's 3 tracks. Like we're involved with 3 tracks together, and we're part of Vermicious now. So we've started a band together, and I'm just, for me, that's an awesome thing, you know. So just like that, getting, and on one of the tracks as well, just because since everyone's telling their story, like one of the tracks, I will tell you, one of the tracks was done by Connor Jordan, fantastic musician, and he wrote this Tool-esque opus. And so I basically got myself, Hoytham, and Tony Carberry to throw vocals on it.
I'm interested.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting. But what the great thing about that was we all met up at Hoytham's studio. So the 4 of us were there, and we asked Connor to plot out the whole thing for us. So he has the 3 of us. He's directing the 3 of us, and he was like, this is like Christmas, like, you know. And so then when we finally got what we came out with, he was like, it's like all of my Christmases together, like, you know. But what was great about that was to see him able to be happy with what we were coming out with for him, you know. So, and to me, that was probably the most rewarding part of it, seeing someone who I haven't worked with before and giving me, like, I mean, I didn't write any lyrics whatsoever for this particular track. I left it all to Connor because I knew he had his vision of this particular song. So, and, you know, again, a totally different way to work for me, but it was an awesome experience. So, you know, it was just, again, it's great to see everybody playing again. And I honestly don't think we're going to be gigging for a while. So, like,
no.
You know, this could
next year at the earliest, I'd say.
I think so, yeah.
So what was it? I heard Belfast had a festival gig, 10,000 people or something.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah. And yet we can't have 50 people in.
And the Gaiety Theatre are only allowing 50 people in to a matinee on Sunday, while there's 24,000 in Corp Park. So
yeah. Make it make sense.
Please. The church and the GAA, huh?
Yeah.
They really run this country.
They really do.
First one, then the other.
Yes, very true. So, so it just sounds like you've had an awesome time doing this, lads. Yeah, it really has.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been fantastic.
And I mean, I know that the idea has been bandied about a lot of the time, but I'm going to just throw it out there. Would you like to do like a live representation of this project?
Yeah,
100.
I'm already working the production out for our song in my head.
That's what I want to hear.
Yeah,
I don't know how to go about it, but I'll do it.
It's gonna be extremely difficult to work out, but if we can work it out, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
You know? So that may come when we're kind of allowed to play gigs again. You know, but it would be an awesome thing to do.
I would love that.
Get a Siege of Limerick.
I haven't played a gig in years, so it'd be great to have that little chance or opportunity to do that again. Well, I'm trying to think even what's the last time I played, but
well, like that's again, there's possibilities from this now, and there's opportunities to look forward to. There really is, you know. So before we go, because I like that, I don't want to keep you on too long. Just give me the names of your tracks. So people can look out for them and remember them. Sean, what's yours?
The track's called Aphasia, and the project name is Oleka.
Awesome.
I believe it's going to be on the first album, but I'll let the committee decide that or confirm.
It is on the first album.
Excellent.
It's a lead single.
Sweet. So
it's going to be the first. Necroterra and Aphasia are going to be on the first album. So there you go. Cormac, wake up there.
I was trying to even find the name of it, but it just came to mind just there.
He's on so many. He's on so many. You can't remember them all.
No, we had so many working titles. It's just like, what's the name again?
He's one of those beautiful people that doesn't remember his own name. He really is. Go on, anyway.
Oh, I can't even tie my shoes, let alone my name. What's it? It's called Rise, and it'll be for Zoe's track. So the track is Rise. It's an industrial track, and it's like covered with synth and industrial music. So if you like Birthday Massacre or tiny bit of Chimera and bit of Fear Factory in there. So yeah, Rise.
Awesome.
Actually, I don't know what ours sounds like. Carl,
Yeah,
when you heard
I don't know what ours sounds like either.
what came to mind? Did it remind you of anything? Because I
just know I really enjoyed it. Put it that way. I try not to do that kind of comparison thing, you know.
There's a bit of like a Tool bit in the middle, but that's impossible for me to write a song that doesn't sound like Tool. So.
All right. It's just kick ass. It's fun awesome, like, you know.
Yeah.
So
the guys called it post metal, and I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Label it whatever you want. Yeah,
whatever.
Darren, what's your track or tracks?
Our track, well, I only worked on one track, so that one is called "To Hell or to Connacht."
Nice.
So you remember that one?
Awesome.
And,
love song, is it? Love song?
Yeah, and it's not a love song. It's I guess, how would I describe it? So I guess if you're a fan of folk metal, you'd really enjoy the tune. There's also maybe some some vocal stuff that might be a bit different. We have wonderful vocals from Colin Quinn, who was from he would have in the ancient past. He played in a band called Memorive, which I guess would be more like power metal type thing.
Oh,
sorry,
cool,
my voice is on roll. So it's funny. Like, I wouldn't have thought about putting his that kind of style of music together, but it's really powerful.
Awesome.
And I love the tune because of it. It's such a fun tune to listen to. It really makes me want to like climb a mountain and just like behold things, you know. But yeah,
the West.
From the West, so to Hell to Connacht.
Awesome.
Yeah, I also want to give a shout out to Mihal from 10 Ton Slug. He lent me the drum mics that I used to record. So without his help, I wouldn't have been able to record drums. So cheers, Mihal.
Yeah, absolutely. That's class, man. Yeah, it's shaping up to be something fucking special, this whole thing. It really is, like, you know. Tony, before we go, tell me what you got.
Right, our tracks are called Lies, Damn Lies, and then we have Frail Ties.
And were they named like that to sound alike on purpose?
Yeah, the whole team was we're going for like a machine head, like early machine head style, and we're going like heavily political. Like all the lyrics in the songs were done by Aaron O'Shaughnessy.
Right.
And like they're like, I mean, he just seems to hate the government. So
very, very political.
So when you hear the tracks, you'll know like they're both just like, we love Ireland, but we hate the government.
Like us all.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic, man. So look, there's nothing much else to be said about it. We could go on all night talking about this, but let's just leave it at that and let people hear what we've come up with. You know, if you guys have anything to say before we go, say it to me.
All right.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Well, before we go, then, all I want to do is, again, just thank you, gentlemen, for doing Aiseiri, because, as I said, it was a big thing for everyone to get involved in, and anyone that took that step to do it, because, like, we believe it or not, we did have enough haters out there and detractors. So the fact that you've gotten to this stage, it's commendable to everybody, you know. And
but fair play to yourself, man. You know, along with Dara as well. especially Dara, for like taking the horns of the bull and just dragging this through and actually making it happen. So fair play to yourself
like a
as well.
sizable project, like that's not an easy feat to keep it on the tracks.
Yeah.
Well, between yourself, Shannon, Dara, Tony, like everyone, like literally everyone those lads, and even
Tom,
like so Tom, Woodlock as well.
Yeah.
Like fair folks.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well,
Like,
look,
I couldn't imagine trying to manage that many people.
That's it. Dara forgets sometimes that there's 5 of us and he takes on loads, and I'm like, will you delegate, please? Because we're here to help you. It's and he actually cares about every single track and every single person on this. But then again, so do the other 4 of us. So it's not just like it's him. We're all there for everybody, But I just thanks for coming on tonight on KingWoes Court.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for
absolutely. It's been fantastic and
my pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. The guys, before we go, the pre-order is up for the Aiseiri All Ireland Metal Project on Bandcamp now. If you look up Aiseiri All Ireland Metal Project, and I'm gonna have links here for everything else as well. We have some fantastic t-shirts and lovely hoodies done by I think Kieran Coughlin and Colin from Zara, his name is I think is that Bulga design, something like that. It's I always struggle to say that, but it's fantastic collaboration work for the merch that we're going to be bringing out. But yeah, as we said before we go, it's all for a good cause. It's all for Bernardo's, and what's better than helping children? In fairness,
that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, metalers do care. We do fucking care.
Care too much, man.
Absolutely.
We always did. And
we always will. Gentlemen, we're out of here. Thanks very much for coming on, okay?
Cheers. See you later.
Hang
Thanks for having us.
Hang on.
Cheers, thanks.
Trying to leave